Right, welcome to round two. I said I was going to do every shot on this round, so this is it. So this is Heythrop Park. Obviously the video from yesterday showed what happened yesterday, had a bit of a mare. Turned up today, completely different attitude, without like any expectations, and just went out and played golf, and this is probably the best I've hit it in a very long time. This is like one of the best ball striking rounds I've had, I would say. So looking forward to showing you this today, and the condition of the course is great. We did have a lot of rain, as you can see it's very, very soft, playing very long, this golf course, but you can see it's in great condition. The greens are literally pure, like really, really, really good. So yeah, first hole, 470 yard par 4, just making a par on the first. This is around 170 yards, playing downhill and downwind, so just thought I'd chip a little 8-iron. Pulled it a tad, but got to the back of the green. This is probably in between clubs for me, and in hindsight could have hit a 9-iron. It's actually hit a decent shot here with the 8, and it's just released a bit far. I've got a long putt up the green, first thing in the morning, so it's like a 40-footer up the hill, and had this to save par to keep it at level. But yeah, just a bit of a weak effort there, early doors. Now moving on to the next, which is a 450 yard par 4. This is like a story of my driving for the day. Just hit a lot of greens and a lot of fairways. I think I hit like 15 greens today, and again just hit a lot of fairways as well. Just a lot of really good drives, just still playing that little cut, and it's working very nice. So 145, just hit a little 9-iron in here. Really felt good this one. Yeah, half a club long, but in a good spot. So playing with Steve Tooth today. This is just after he rolled in his birdie, so you're probably going to hear Steve quite a lot today. He's like a Jamega OG legend, basically. He's played the tour for a long time, and he's a good laugh, old Steve. So yeah, enjoyed the round with him today, and I think some of the reactions you're gonna laugh at. Sounds a bit like Arthur Shelby or Tommy Shelby. So par 5, just had like a really bad mud ball there, so I wasn't sure how it was going to come out, so just tried to chip it up the fairway, pulled it a tad, sort of had a weird flight, left myself just over 100 yards with the 55 degree, gave myself another look at birdie, hit a nice shot in there. So this was breaking about 1.5 foot, and this can get quite quick, so I was a bit hesitant to give that a good roll, as it can get away from you pretty fast there. But as it is, par, so even start. So this is the dogleg right par 4, 330 yards, and I'm just hitting a 2-iron off this tee. So we played it a bit further back. Again, in hindsight, this is probably a 3-wood off of this tee, but hit a 2-iron thinking it would be more than enough to get over that bunker, but ended up just right of it. This had mud all over it. Basically, if we missed the fairway today, just getting really, really bad mud balls, and it is just soppy, moist, juicy lies, which is what we all like. Anyway, just short of the green, had this big breaking putt, got it up there near the hole, and had a bit of a swinger very early in the morning for a swinger, bit of right to left. Onto the 280 yard par 4. This was definitely the play. I reckon just like a 4-iron off the tee. And by the way, there's a reason that this round ended up in a DQ, and I'm going to discuss it at the end of the video, just to keep you here basically. 80 yards, sort of had the tree blocking the pin, so this is as close to the pin as I could go. And completely different story with the wedges today, mostly. So I had this putt which was breaking about 6 inches off the right, knocked it in, so really solid so far. Hit every green so far, I think. This was a bit of a funky drive, just got a bit stuck, with the cart and just started this down the right hand side of the fairway with a bit of a cut. So in the in the rough on the right, 135 yards. So a bit of a fly lie, just hitting my 50 degree. It's actually a decent shot. There's going to be someone that moans that I've let my hand off the club, which I do a few times, as people get really offended by someone letting their hand off the golf club for some reason. So I sincerely apologise for that one. I'll make sure I try not to do that in the future for you. This is a little break-in putt. Didn't really give that a very good roll. And this was literally this is just a disaster, this hole. So apart from this, and this is just strategy, it's just the wrong club. I needed to hit a 3-wood to get it far enough out. Hit the 2-iron, just didn't quite have enough view. And just this was a mud ball again, just try to chip it up there by the left side of the green. And it's come out like a bullet into that rough up the top, and we lost it. So I had to run back down the hill, ended up going back with a 5-iron, playing a little cutty low one around the tree, and yeah, it just ended up in this just nasty like path, wet, moist, dead lie. So I just tried to run a little pitching wedge up through the grass, and it ended up just taking off basically. So this was literally, like I said, probably one of the best rounds I've had so far ball striking wise, and it's just like this hole was just a mare, but apart from that it's a nice solid round. Right, made a putt for 7, so from 1 under back to 2, and then this is a really bad swing. So this is just not a committed 6-iron, and this is just caught basically just right at the green as a hazard, and this has just caught that area, which is just not the miss basically. But it's a tough par 3, 185 yards from back there. Hit a little chip up, thought I hold that, didn't. Tapped it in to 3 over par. So this is playing long stay. This is around 450 I think into wind. Hit a really nice drive and left myself, I think I had 170 into this, into breeze, and just played the smaller 6-iron, just trying to take the spin off it a bit, and hit a pretty good shot towards the middle of the green. Left myself a long putt up the hill, and you can see how good these surfaces are, and just see how well the ball's rolling. It is, if like Steve said on this hole, he said if you miss it, you know you've missed it. It's not like jumping off the face, it's literally just rolling very well. So got them for par, 3 over par, and this is a bit of a funky hole. So most of the guys were doing this, so 5-iron off the tee, and then I think I had a 7-iron on my next shot, and then you leave yourself around 100 to 120 yards. It's really the only way to play this hole. If you miss it either way with driver, because you're playing onto this angle, it's literally lost ball. So it's a bit of a funky hole. It's probably the only hole in the course which isn't great, but had 115 yards and had to get it over the tree, as left side of the fairway wasn't really the best place to hit this. So like chopped one up with the 55 degree, and this is just flown slightly further than I would have hoped. And then this is where a run of almost birdies starts. So this is one of them. This is a bit nasty. Oh, cheeky. Big old lip there. Knocked it in for par. Par 4, just got to hit it over that tree, hit the fade off the left side of the tree, cut over to the right side of it, should see it coming down. There it is. Into wind here off an upslope, pin on the back right, so just hitting a little 9-iron, just trying to take the spin off it again. Hit a really nice shot. This lands pretty much on the tier where there's a little shelf, and then spins back down the hill. Gave myself a 25-footer. It's actually longer than it looks here, and this is another. Good stroke. It's getting a bit frustrating. Knocked it in for par. Big walk. The golf course is a 9-mile walk, which is, I think an average golf course is around 7 miles. This is 9 miles. It is massive. So I think this is playing 180-ish, so this is just a fairly standard 7-iron. Hit a nice shot in here.
Very good.
Give myself a look.
Lovely shot.
It's quite a big swinger off the right, and again, gave it quite a good roll. So it's just one of those things, I think. Like, you can only just keep giving yourself good rolls, giving yourself looks, and then putting good rolls on it. You can't really ask for much more than that. But like, if they're going to drop, they're going to drop.
Awesome.
So there's a big par 5 around the corner. Steve loved it. Little flat 3-wood out there. And then this is literally the best shot I've hit all year. So this is 260 yards. It's very, very wet. So this is the 2-iron, landing just short of the green and literally just stopping in the fringe bit, and then releasing down into the green. That is that's probably going on Instagram, that shot, to be fair. I had this basically had like the fringe right behind the ball here. So I was trying to make a swing that didn't get snagged up. Knocked it up there to a couple foot, and then had this for birdie. Fairly solid. This is 165 yards back to that back left pin, but it's just like a dead flag. So this is always the plan, just hit it into the middle, 10 yards short, just a 9-iron to the centre of the green. And then this part doesn't really look that much uphill from this angle, but this is up a big tier, and just didn't quite strike that putt properly, just caught it slightly off the bottom, and yeah, come up about 6 foot short, and then had this for par. And this is frustrating really, because that's 2 drop shots and par 3s where I've knocked it onto the green and 3 putted. But I mean, you're gonna have the occasional 3 putt, especially, you know, if the greens are quick and you're leaving yourself, you know, 20-30 foot away. So it's no major problem. It's just 330 yard par 4 into off the right. Good driver. Thought I was going to get a bit further down pin high, and then left myself this chip, and this is as good as I could play this really. Landed it right on the front, nice and soft, but this green is just very fast, back to front, sorry, front to back. It goes down like a couple tiers basically, so that didn't really stop. So got this up the hill. Alright, I told him to put the pin back in because I wasn't really sure which way this was going, so just told Steve to put the pin back in, and just smashed it at the pin. This is quite a long par 4 today, up into the wind, around 450, so it's hitting the 3-wood. A nice shot there.
Shot, mate. Lovely shot.
No stress, no dramas, as Sorry would say. 170 yards, and I thought I hit really good 7-iron here. This is when the wind was just slightly into off the left, and it's slightly uphill, but it was affecting the ball quite a bit at this point as the wind got up and the rain came down. But anyway, hit a nice chip. So we've got this for par, and then playing the 18th, thinking have a nice finish, get back to 2-0. This is Steve Tooth. This is probably one of his worst shots of the day, to be fair. He did have a good one. I think Steve was around 3-4 over. Yeah, something around there. I absolutely ripped this. Just stepped off it because I wasn't comfortable, but absolutely ripped this tee shot. So yeah, talk about the DQ. So the DQ, basically after a few holes, after 4 or 5 holes, I realised that I hadn't taken the 3-iron out, and basically I either keep the 3-iron in or take a 3-wood out, or keep the 3-iron in or keep the 3-wood in, and completely forgot to take the 3-iron out, and realised I had more clubs, so I had to call her. I just realised that I may as well just play the round, film the round as normal, without using the 3-iron, and then just call it when I get in instead, just have to DQ myself. So it didn't like make any difference at all, obviously nowhere near the money or placing. This was one of the shots that I hit from yesterday again. I literally just felt really uncomfortable over that one before and that one, and I have no idea what happened there, so you have to let that one go. I'm going to work on my wedge game quite a lot over the next week before Ascot next week. So yeah, could have got that back to 2, and with a 7, you know, it's really not far away. Just thought the ball striking was good. Let me know what you think. A few more putts could have dropped, but nice tournament again. I hope you've enjoyed the tournament round. I will see you next week playing Royal Ascot, which I played before last year. Really nice golf course, so we'll be back for more of the same, but slightly better course.